Hey guys, I'm here with Murphy and we're at the Irish Pavilion here at Expo in Osaka. You ready to talk about Ireland?
Yeah, as much as I can.
Let's do it.
The myth that it was created by giants.
So could you give us an intro about the Irish Pavilion? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this is the Irish Pavilion. If you see the timber that's making the outside of our pavilion, we actually brought that all from Ireland. So it's Douglas fir that we brought from Cork, which is down south in Ireland. We have a big forestry industry, so we brought these, and the idea is that we wanted to be sustainable, so we're going to reuse this wood after the expo ends, and that's why we kind of chose this kind of design where we don't really manipulate the wood too much. Our pavilion is pretty small. We can only take about 35 people on a tour at any given time, so it does get quite competitive to get inside, but we have 3 rooms within. You've seen yourself, but we have one room where we exhibit the nature in Ireland, so it's kind of our source of creativity. Very famous landmark in Ireland, and it's actually created by the water, but there's a myth that it was created by giants because of all the hexagon shapes. People think that a giant tore off the land and left the shape like that, but it's actually created by the water, so it's part of an old myth in Ireland. And then in the second room we have Irish craftsmanship and creativity, the creative process, all on display. You see it on the Irish passport and also more famously on the Guinness glass. This is the symbol of Ireland, and it's also a symbol of peace and a way of communicating with people who don't speak the same language. So again, it brings people together. The theme of the Irish Pavilion is creativity connects people, and we're really about people. So like our biggest selling point is actually our staff more than anything in our pavilion. But the idea was that we bring different things from Ireland that kind of showcase our ingenuity and our creativity. So we have animation, we have ceramics, we have Donegal tweed, we have a harp, all kinds of things that showcase different parts of Ireland and there's creativity. And then we move into the last room within our pavilion, which is an immersive experience. It's live music and a little bit of dancing. And you kind of get to see this film, which was made kind of talking about, Irish people's connection to nature and the changing relationship with, our world and our appreciation for our nature. And so I don't know if you were able to kind of pick up on it, but it's a very complicated relationship. It definitely changes, but we are making progress to, better appreciate our natural surroundings. So Ireland has a lot of boglands, a lot of wetlands, basically. But we've kind of destroyed them over time, and it's only now that we're starting to preserve them and rewild some of the areas within the country, and that was kind of the message we wanted to get across. But we also just wanted people to enjoy themselves and kind of enjoy the live music and the dancing and have something that's very different from all the flashy kind of pavilions around us. It's kind of museum-like. I'm not making any pointed comments about which pavilion, but it is just kind of about people. So we want people to refresh, to relax, to kind of enjoy themselves and, talk with the staff members, see what Ireland's like, We really are a small country, but we have a big heart and we just want to welcome everybody and just, it's like taking them into our house, having a cup of tea and having a chat.
What's personally your favorite part of the pavilion?
That's tough. I love everything about it, obviously.
Great answer.
But I guess my favorite part is the live music. Especially in the evening, we do kind of a trad session where every day it's a different set of songs, it's a different set of instruments, it's a different group of musicians, and it's very much the atmosphere you'd have back home in Ireland where it's not really scripted, it's kind of, you're going with the flow, you're just doing what you feel like doing. Like in Irish traditional music, a lot of the time people don't learn by looking at sheet music, it's more you kind of learn by ear, so somebody would play a song, you would learn how to play it, and you kind of like grow based off that. So a lot of it is improvisation. And it's really lovely to see how much fun they have doing it and how fun, people find the live music. So I would say that that's the best part of our pavilion.
Why should people visit Ireland?
If you come to our pavilion and you see how friendly and welcoming we are, that's basically like what we are back home. we don't really put on airs. We're very much down to earth people, and it's just such an overlooked little country. We're out on the coast, you know, not a lot of people know that we have all sorts of things to offer. We have great nature like the wild Atlantic Way, the Cliffs of Moher. You know, we also have just a nice environment to kind of visit because, you know, Irish people are so curious. It might come off as nosy, but like really we just want to get to know people. So it means that when you come to visit, people are so interested in your story and what you have to say, and like it's just you get to connect with the locals really if you visit. So that's why I would say you should come to Ireland.
You mentioned it a little bit, but what are Irish people like? You say you're really welcoming. What else can you say about Irish people?
They're always looking for good crack. So like crack is an Irish word, but it means like fun or like a good story. You know, we're much into the oral tradition. We love telling stories. We love having a bit of fun. You know, we're very much the kind of people that you want to have banter with. So it's a little bit of poking fun, but it's also just being able to kind of have a conversation with just about anybody without feeling like, you know, you're an outsider or an insider. You know, everybody's equal.
What is one thing that you guys want someone that's coming to the pavilion to take away from the exhibition?
At the end of the day, what we want our visitors to experience is kind of a reset and a connection with the people. So we really want them to engage with the staff, to get to know people and like get to know a little bit more about Ireland. You know, we want them to ask questions and have a talk with us, you know, see what our personal experience and connection to Ireland is. Some of us aren't, you know, Irish, but we do have a strong connection. We have staff members who've lived in Ireland for 20 years. We have staff members who've, you know, only visited once, but it made such an impression on them that they came back to work at the Ireland Pavilion. So it's really just about connecting with people and having a chance to be human rather than just be a visitor. So if you're from Ireland and you're watching this, and you know, we're a tiny island, so I'm sure you might recognize me, but spread the message, come visit the pavilion. You know, we want to say Fáilte and see you all here.
Perfect. Thank you very much.